Go ahead.
Welcome to another episode of I'm a Business Man.
Listen, on this episode 2, the boss man, Antonio T. Smith Jr., has us going out to look at some real estate properties. So we are on our way.
Excuse the bumpity bump.
Yes, excuse the bumpity bump.
Get a little toasty in here, you know.
A little whoopty whoop.
The what?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying.
That's it.
So it's a little, Okay, so yeah, it's a little bouncy, guys. My piece that I have, we busted right here, right?
Yes, busted right.
Oh, sweet. My little piece I got right here is a little warm, so it's a little jiggly.
It's okay.
I know that sounded weird. Just work with me. So Antonio truly is a business. The ATSJR Companies is Antonio Theodore Smith Jr. Company. So he really is a business,
yes,
man. And with that being said, one of his businesses is real estate. So we're going to go check out a couple of houses right now. These are the things we do for him. Not only do we handle his public, view of things, how the public views him, but we also handle other things that people just don't know we do. Like go check out houses.
Right.
And what street am I turning on again? We keep straight?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
This is really jiggly.
Yeah, it's jiggly. Jiggly. Oh, look at the sunshine. Wait a minute.
That's
oh,
it.
There we go. Hi, guys. Hello. So, Antonio T. Smith Jr., yes, he is a business, and the ATSJR Companies is Antonio Theodore Smith Jr. Companies.
Right.
One of the businesses that he does is real estate. So we are going to check out a couple of properties now for him. Go take a couple of, pictures of it, and as well, and report back to him. He has an interview when we get back. So this is the life of the business of Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Because he is a business
man.
That's it.
All right. So which way we?
Keep going.
Okay, sweet.
On Bayou. Turn left.
Oh, turn left on Bayou. Okay.
Yes. Now, we need a question that will stump Mr. Smith today.
Why real estate?
Good question. What made you go into real estate? What is the benefit of going into real estate?
And should you do single units or should you do multi-units?
Right.
Huh, that's a good question too.
How many houses should I invest in, and when I do invest into those houses, what do I do with them? Do I rent them out? Is there something else to do with them? To earn or generate income?
Huh. Do you create a corporation, and if you do you put them all under the same corporation? That's a good question too.
Wow. Great questions. Hopefully we'll stump him today, but somehow I kind of doubt it.
Because he say he don't know everything, but I think he know everything.
He may,
It may be some things that he don't know, but he knows like 98% of everything in the world.
Okay.
We just call him Google. When we have questions,
That's
we go,
it.
hey, Google.
That's it.
And it's to a point now he actually responds because he knows we're talking to him. Just saying.
That's it.
So let's see. We're passing up Scott.
Keep going. 2 more streets.
2 more?
Yep, and we'll turn left.
Is that Colonial or Colonel? Which one?
Colonial.
And here we go. Oak Lawn. And
here we go.
All right.
Don't get hit.
My fault she's on the wrong side of the street.
Stop it.
1825.
Okay, I think we're here.
Okay. All right. So let us. Oh, look.
Yes.
Oh. In here.
There we go.
Okay, that works. So we're just gonna park in the street, and we're gonna take you guys with us. How about that? Yay!
Let's go on a field trip. And we're back.
Woo!
We just got back from looking at the real estate properties for a certain someone right here. And we're just wanting to ask him different questions about Superman, okay? Yeah. Mr. Smith, Jr. Muscle. Why? to our lives.
Welcome.
Why real estate?
For me or the average person?
Yeah.
Oh, for you.
I'm hiding my wealth like all other people do. That's the whole point. It's the whole point. The whole point when you get to a certain level is to hide your wealth in the real estate, because for tax reasons, yes, just for tax reasons, okay? Also, I'm looking, so a big part of generational wealth, you know how you have the generational wealth gap?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is systemic. But a huge part of the generational wealth gap is your house. But you have to be careful here. Let me just explain before you try to go do this. A big part of the generational wealth gap is those who are being blessed in the generational wealth gap, they have a lot of equity in their homes. Mm-hmm. And with that equity, you can start off with, let's say you own a $3 million house, or let's not make it $3 million. Let's just make it your house. You bought your house in the 60s, mm-hmm. which systematically they wouldn't let some people that look like us, okay, do the same thing. Okay. Now that house for $20,000 is worth $700,000, which is very reasonable. Mm-hmm. Okay, very reasonable. Well, now you have $700,000 that you can use to send your child to college and stuff. Okay. Now, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm about to say something that does not apply to regular, average people, but it does apply to what I'm doing. I'm looking now to create that same generational wealth gap for my children. For my children, so I can then, make sure that they have the same. They don't start 17 generations behind. Like, that's the point here, right? Yes. Not to start 17 generations behind is the point. So that's something that I'm getting ready to do. Right. That's one half of real estate. The other half of real estate is to hide my wealth. Okay. Okay, you get it? Yes. To get to tax deductions, call it depreciation. It's all sorts of stuff I won't really get into because I don't think that's what this is about, right? Okay. It's okay. If this is one of mine, I'd be all up in it. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
I do have another question. Equity. Can you give us the definition of equity for those who...
Yeah, I just give you a simple one. It's the money inside your house.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I give you a very simple definition of equity. It is the money left over in your house. Think of it like a car. You know how you ever say, "Ooh, my car is upside down." Mm-hmm. Oh. This means you owe more than a car is worth. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, just inverse that. Equity is you owe less than what the house is worth, and the difference thereof is equity. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, the difference. If your house is worth $250,000, mm-hmm. and you owe $75,000, you have how much in equity?
You said I owe 75,
and it's worth $250.
Ooh, 155.
All right, something like that. Okay, 155. She's the math person. 155.
185.
185. Okay, she's the So now you have $185,000 worth of equity that's at your disposal. Start a business, send your kids to school. You get it? Okay. Cool.
My next question.
Now keep it firing.
When you pull equity from your home, is that something that you have to pay back, or is that something that belongs to you?
This is why I favor, well, I don't want to say that. In most cases, it is something you have to pay back. They call it equity loans.
Okay.
Not in all cases, because there are different strategies you can use. Well, because I've got to be careful here because I'm not a CPA. And I don't want someone to go on your show and go, you know what, I listened to him and he said, there are some vehicles that you can use to roll over money from your house into accounts that are pre-taxed, because that would be pre-taxed. To pre-tax, I'm trying to escape this. Okay, you get it, but you can do things like you can buy you can buy properties with IRAs, Roth IRAs. You know,
Okay.
you can do. There's so many different things you can do, but you need to go follow a licensed professional to tell you how to do that. Whew! Avoid a lawsuit. All right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this, please heed what he just said.
Please.
Follow a licensed professional to get what you need.
If you
Thank
think if you think hiring a professional is expensive, wait until you hire an amateur.
Okay.
I read that on Facebook somewhere.
I'm going to expound on what he just said, because if you hire an amateur, you have to pay for that amateur, and then you have to pay for the mistakes that they make. It's more expensive to hire an amateur than it is to hire a professional.
And then you have to pay the professional to clean up all those mistakes.
Oh yeah, so it's 3 different costs out of your pocket.
Exactly. Sweet. Did I ever answer that question? I'm not even sure what the question was. I can't remember.
No, you answered it.
Okay, good. You had a question.
Yes. If I am the average person, and it is coming to my awareness that real estate may be the way to go to grow or generate more income for me,
It will be.
what are the benefits? How do I get started?
Okay, I answer both questions, but the thing here, it is the best way for you. Let me tell you something. I like stocks a lot, as well as I like real estate. I favored stocks in the beginning of my career because I can get my money out, buy some business or something, because it wasn't loans. I just paid fees. There's some pros and cons. There's some pros with real estate because if I lose all my money in stocks, well, deuces, right? The money's gone. If I burn down my house, insurance kind of takes care of that in most cases. There's a whole different thing like gross negligence. Just don't even worry about that. Okay? It's just, the insurance job is to not pay out too much money. That's their job. They're in the business of collecting premiums and not paying out. No matter what the commercial state, no matter how safe you are in the hands of one company, it doesn't matter. They're in the business of collecting premiums and paying out less than what they collect. So they have very sophisticated lawyers that will teach people, that will deny paying out. And if you don't believe me, just need your insurance one day. You'll see they'll tell you, oh, well, we don't cover surge. We don't cover storm surge. We cover flood.
Oh.
Well, what do you mean? Now, this is us. We're in a flood area. What do you mean? The storm surge is water.
Yes.
Let's flood my house.
For you, it's water. They got, flood, storm surge. They're saying 2 different things, and then they deny your claim, right? Anyway, I don't even know what went off on that tangent. I just wanted you to understand that in most cases, okay? In most cases, if you burn down your house, it's fire insurance policy. You get it. Now, the benefits of doing real estate is a lot, really. It's a lot of benefits of doing real estate. For one, you're using leverage now. Other people are working at a job you don't have to work at to give you money you don't have to work for. Oof, I'll say it again.
Please.
Other people are working at a job that you don't have to work at to give you money you don't have to work for.
Yeah.
Which is always important, right?
Yes,
That's always, exactly. That's leverage there. Of course, you get some tax benefits if you set up your companies correctly. Use a professional for that. Don't go to the internet sites and just start a company, a legal entity. Use a professional that will set you up properly. Other benefits would be equity. We spend a lot of time talking about that. You'll also be able to use your houses in real estate to borrow more should you need to borrow. Let's say you need to let's say you need a $25 million loan. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, okay, well, what are your assets? Anybody ever heard that before?
Yes.
All right, let's say you got $25 million in assets. Okay, they will give you a $25 million loan should your business be sound, whatever you need it for, and then cover your assets. Your assets will cover that. This means that you basically put them in the first lien holder spot, which means that if you default on the loan, that's okay. They'll get their money back from the houses and then sell your houses to someone else, some real estate investor or something. Because banks aren't in the business of real estate.
No.
They don't want houses. They want money, because the only time banks get money is when they loan money. All right, good. Wait, so you asked benefits. And the other one was,
how would I get started?
you get started. I would save 10% of all your income right now. And a great way to get started is, I would prefer all of you to start off in multi-unit houses. It's really the best way to go. Apartments. I would just prefer you to do that. Save up $25,000 or save up $250,000, just depending on what kind of area you're in, what kind of apartments you want to buy. And do that, leverage 30 doors instead of one. I would prefer all of you do that, but if you don't, then you can get started off small. You can find some for sale by owner or home owner financing. Interest rate will be higher, but it'll get you started there. It won't be solely based on your credit. If you are someone who has bad credit, we know those people, don't we? Okay. And another way to get started would be use a credit investor. So maybe you have the money, but you don't have the credit, but you can use someone to use their credit, and then you can use your money. Yeah, they get paid for using their credit, and you get paid for using your money. Or you can flip that the other way around. You have the credit, they have the money. You say, okay, I'll be your credit partner, and of course, what they'll do is make sure that the deal works, the numbers work. As long as the numbers work, that'll be just fine for you. You can use a private money lender or a hard money lender. The difference between with both cases, well, more so with the hard money lender, you'll have to cover the gap. The hard money lender will more than likely cover you about 80%, which means you need to come up with 20% of that money. This is why you want to have some credit, because you put it on the credit card or something. So if a house costs $100,000 and I give you 80% of that, you need to come up with how much? $20,000. You need to come up with $20,000 yourself, and then these are a few of the ways to get started. We can have a much deeper conversation than that, but I don't think that's this show that they do me in. I do have another show. It's called Creators, in which we get really deep and stuff like that. And they're in it too, but you understand.
Okay, so sidebar question: should we be expecting more information about real estate in Creators?
Sure, you should. I think I'm going to start off with credit and stocks first. I'm going to start off there with this next season coming up. I'm going to start off with stocks, credit, and then we'll move to real estate. And the whole point of Creators is to help you create your own economy, right? Hence the title Creators. So yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely get into it. We got to get into real estate, foreign exchange, all sorts of stuff.
Cool. Thank you.
Now, foreign exchange is not the same as real estate. I'm sorry, I contrasted. I went back to stocks. Foreign exchange is a 24-hour, 7 days a week market. 7 days a week market that's liquid only, cash only, and you don't bet on commodities. You bet on countries and that country's economy. That country's by economy, that country's money. So you'd be betting a ruble against the dollar. The ruble against ruble is Russian. No, that's not Russian. I think it is. It could be. Indian is ruble. Yeah. No. You know what? I can't remember right now. But you get the point. Okay, you get the point. Cool.
So my question is, how many houses should one invest in? And when I do invest, what do I do with that? Do I rent them out? Do I hold? Do I flip them and sell them? What would be the best strategic plan for me to purchase a home? How many? What should I do with them? And
yeah, it's a broad question, but I'll tackle a few elements there. For one, what you want to do is know your end goal. It's the best way to answer this question. Know where you want to end up at. For me, I want to be a billionaire. it doesn't really make sense for me to fix and flip my way to that point. That's too much energy, and massive income won't get me to being a billionaire. What will get me to being a billionaire is buying and holding and have $1 million a month residually in cash coming. But what happens is every time my renter pays my rent, my equity grows. You get it? So I'm growing money on both sides, making me a billionaire faster. I'm growing money in cash, and I'm growing money in equity. So you get it? I have cash coming in that creates me $1 million a month, so now I'm a 12 millionaire.
Right.
Okay.
But I have, at $1 million a month, it's a lot of properties. Or at least it's a lot of doors, we should say. It could be 5 apartment complexes, pretty big, you know, it's just a lot of doors. Now, as people pay my bills, the equity goes up, because remember, the price of the house goes down, or the unit goes down, and the equity goes up. So I'm growing on both sides. I'm growing in actual cash, and I'm growing in cash that I can use, net worth cash. I'm growing twice now. You get it? I'm growing twice, and that's making you a billionaire faster. You get it? Now, let's say you don't have aspirations of being a billionaire. You want to be insanely comfortable. You can fix and flip, and you can buy and hold at the same time. You would need 2 different company entities for that. You would want to set you up. One would more than likely be an LLC. This won't get me sued. This is practical information. For passive income, then you would need to set up some sort of corporate, well, LLC is a corporation, but an S Corp or an LLC that behaves like an S Corp or something like that. A corporation, it can even be a corporation for massive income, because the taxes are differently there. What else? You can, the deal's called short sale. This is pre-foreclosures. You can find people that way. You can go foreclosures. Or let's say grandmother died and left you $100,000 in cash. You can take yourself to the county tax county tax collector, and start buying up houses, $10,000 at a time.
All right.
Right? I mean, you walk away with 10 houses.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, they've been foreclosed on or condemned or whatever it is, and they may be, or they're behind on taxes. In this case, behind on taxes, and you're auctioning on these houses. Now, you don't get to see them, but please know, 2 p.m. In that county, whatever time zone it is, they want their money. 2 p.m.
Remember.
You gotta go get that. You start it's normally like the first Tuesday at 8 a.m. You bid at 8:55. They want their money at 2 p.m. I need you to understand it. So don't go play if you can't play.
Don't play if you can't play.
Come on now.
There we go.
Thank you for that information. That definitely helped me.
I'm trying to give up plenty of knowledge, because you guys I appreciate y'all for letting me have a show in y'all show. Thank you for featuring me and letting me put it on my network too. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you as well.
Appreciate that.
I'm definitely looking forward to creators and getting more information on real estate. That is definitely something that I plan on building in the very, very, very near future. So with that being said, my next question is, with every property that you purchase, do you put it in its own corporation, or do you bundle them in a corporation? Like, if I buy 2 houses, they're in this corporation, or if I buy 10 houses, put them all in one, or do I create 10 different corporations? Or if I have an apartment complex, put it in this one, and then I have rent houses, I put them in this one. Like, what would you recommend?
I would recommend something called a series LLC. And a series LLC allows you to have a parent company, which is obviously an LLC. Now we're talking asset protection. Now your asset protection is something totally different. It is you protecting your assets, because, ladies and gentlemen, as long as you're making money, someone wants it.
Yes.
And as long as you're making money and no one getting it, someone wants it really bad, and they can't wait to get it from you.
Don't give it to us.
Well, and that's what they're thinking. Don't give it to us. Here's this lawsuit, is what they're thinking. So you want to protect yourselves from lawsuits. This is why you need a series. Yes, I'm preferring lawsuits.
Okay.
Yeah, preferring lawsuit.
Never mind.
Okay.
So what you want to do here is, and it's not the only option. You know, again, talk to your tax professional, but you want to talk to your lawyer, and you want to make sure your lawyer, because you asked a real estate question, is a real estate lawyer. You don't want to go a family law lawyer asking these questions unless you're trying to get divorced. Now, or child support or something like that. And you don't want to go to a real estate lawyer asking about child support.
Right.
You get it? You need to go to people that's professionals in their field.
Yes, please.
A series LLC will allow you to create a parent company, and the parent company doesn't have to own anything. The money can just flow up there. Or the parent company can own you. Or the parent company can just employ you, which I would never do that because I don't like income. I like revenue. Those are two different tax brackets. But you can do whatever you want to do with that. Then you can create child companies all over the place. So you have this company, then you can create child companies. And every time you buy a unit, you create a child company to protect that.
Okay.
And every time, and you create these child companies in the Series LLC for free. You pay once, you pay like $10,000 or something once, and then you can keep going over and over and over. In a sense, if you buy a 300-unit apartment complex, you need to have it in one LLC.
Okay.
So if someone slips and falls, they can only attack that one LLC, that one child company.
Right.
You don't have them mixed up. If you don't have this stuff structured like that, you have, let's say Mary Sue slips and falls, or I don't know, cuts her hand and has to get stitches in your 2-bedroom, 2-bath house that you have, that you only renting out for $900 a month. And then she looks you up and sees all this money you have. If she sues you for punitive damages and all sorts of stuff, and you're not properly protected, now she can go after your 300-unit apartment complex, your jet, your yacht, all sorts of great stuff, all because of what you did or what she did in one house, and that's not fair.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you think it's fair. It's not fair to take from someone everything, and because you saw your opportunity to come up.
Right.
But since you know people are going to think like that, you protect yourself with asset protection. Right. And this is just one of the many ways you can do it. There's a ton of different ways, but this is one of the ways that you can do it. But I would strongly recommend a Series LLC because it's cheaper to keep popping up stuff. Never commingle your accounts, your bank accounts. Never commingle. Yeah, you can. If you commingle, with some of these protections, if you commingle your accounts, it's over. You violated your protection. Yeah, you violated your protection. It's grounds for lawsuit. They can get you there on fraud or whatever. It just depends on how they're trying to come at you. Again, I'm being sued right now. I'm always being sued. You haven't won unless you're being sued. I know you get that. No one is going. Yeah, the more you get, the more they try to take it from you. But they can't take it from me because my asset protection game is so strong that my asset protection game is so strong, and I hire professionals that I can get sued and I'm smiling. Now, if I told you you're getting sued, do you know how you would feel? Your whole everything would stop. Man, they can't. They can't. In fact, I'll be winning the lawsuit here in the next 2 weeks or something. I just got the phone with it for that. Oh yeah, definitely. Because asset protection. So you asked a great asset protection question. I'd recommend to all of you a Series LLC. Definitely.
Well, thank you, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. for joining us on another episode of
I'm a business
Man.
You can plan better. You can dominate.
So one more time. There you go. That's it.